Hey guys, welcome to the Live Well, brought to you by Digital Sportsman, where we get together with our community and talk fishing. The show's fixing to start, we're getting everything ready. But in the meantime, we want to tell you about our fine partners that not only make this show possible, but are companies that we absolutely love and stand behind. Groove Fishing, changing the norm of tackle storage. Sonar Pros, specializing in high-end installations across all electronic brands. Go where the pros go. Lipsticker Fishing, specializing in putting clients on giant Lake Lanier bass. Bill Payne's Guide Service, fish with a legend on Lake Allatoona, seasonal smallmouth trips, or even get your sonar dialed in. Brooks Anderson Fishing, guide trips and educating today's anglers on Lake Lanier. Big League Charters, fish with a pro on Tellico, Fort Loudon, Watts Bar, and Chickamauga. Money Saver Lure Retriever, designed to break your lure free from almost any snag. Fishers of Hope, benefit fishing tournaments to help people in need. Serve IT, industry-leading IT services for your business. Change the way you manage IT. Turner Tire, Jasper, Georgia's most trusted family-owned tire center. Atlanta Safe House, the trusted source for safes and gun safes in Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky, and Alabama. And of course, Digital Sportsman, a new way to discover and book unforgettable outdoor experiences with local trusted guides. Go to fngo.com to get direct links to all our fine partners. Get ready and let's talk fishing. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Live Well this Thursday night. Glad you guys could join us. Landhammer Fishing. I'm here. What's really going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. We got a great show tonight. Going to be dressing up a little bit again. Got the guys backstage and Kevin, all of them. Tony, Kevin, Father, Dave. They're all here. Coleman says, what the heck? I'm going to let you guys guess what I am real quick. First one that guesses it right, I'll send them a Spro rock crawler. First one that guesses it right gets a Spro rock crawler. So you guys take it up. But anyway, we got a great show for you guys today. So let me go ahead. Ron Swinford, Spice Rack, baby. That's it. I'm not JJ's Magic. I'm a Spice Rack. So anyway, guys, listen. I'm not a Spice Girl either. So anyway, hey, listen, let me go ahead and take care of some business before I bring the guys on. I hope we don't get no people on tonight that think, hey, I might want to sponsor this show, and this is the first thing that they see. So not great for that, but for the rest of you guys, Toys for Tots, December 6th, Laurel Park. Okay, we might dress like this to fish in it. $5,000 first place prize, $80 buy-in, 60 of that goes to places 2 on down, depending on the number of boats. $20 big fish. I was told today that a company has jumped in and added another $250. Another $250 for the big fish pot. It's going to keep growing and keep growing. I'm going to have nightmares. No, you're not. No, you're not. But anyway, hey, listen, we want you guys to come out and fish. You got to bring one unwrapped toy per angler to benefit the Toys for Tots, Pickens County and Hall County. We want to help these kids have a smile on their face, kind of like what we do with you guys. We give you guys a smile. We want to put a smile on their faces. Might have to just listen to this one. You might. Wait, just wait. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to bring in Tony. You guys, here's Tony. I have no shame, Doug. I call it confidence. And there's Tony right there.
Classic.
And, we are best friends like that. We're friends and everything. So if you guys ought to be able to figure out who he is with that. If not, you don't know what a good movie is. But anyway, so there you go. Now, Dave is back too. Now, we got to give Dave some, we got to understand. He got to wear the dice again. And the reason is because, look right there. He's poking out the front, and it's all because he's looking at me right there. So, yeah, the wig on Tony is classic. The live scope background, yeah, I'm trying. Hey, listen, this is going to become a classy thing. We're working on it right here. And let's just bring in this guy. That old geezer right there. Look at that. You guys ought to be able to pick him out. He came out with something classic. How you doing, Roland?
I'm great. Son, it is so good to be with you tonight.
No.
Hey, did I tell you that I was 9-time Bass Angler of the Year?
No, you didn't.
Well, I need to. From 1971 to 1985, I won 9 times out of 15 years. That's pretty good, wouldn't you say?
I say that's good. I got a question. How much information did you get?
I got a lot of information. I just can't share it.
Oh, me. All right. So, guys, you can kind of see where we're going tonight. Now, let's bring in our guest of the night, one Brooks Anderson. All right. He's not going to be able to hang in this thing too long. But there you go. Brooks, say hello.
What's going on?
I don't know. This show's going to go to crap real quick. I can tell that for sure. So anyway, one more thing too, guys. Hey, listen, this Saturday, if you got nothing to do, come up to Lake Blue Ridge. All right. Fishers of Hope is putting on a tournament for a young man named Matthew. Tony and I are going to be fishing in it. Farmer's going to be fishing in it. Hey, listen, who else is going up there that we know?
Tim.
Tim's going to be there. That's right. This is descending into mediocrity for sure. But hey, listen, $100. Come in there. We're going to have a raffle too. They're going to do burger plates afterwards. But listen, Tony and I are absolutely going to just wax everybody's butt. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you're scared, you'll stay home. But if you're not scared, come fish against Tony and I out there on Lake Blue Ridge. So, oh my God, it's Kenny. That's right, Doug Phillips. And they might, we'll try not to kill Kenny. But Brooks, honestly, I don't know how long he's going to be able to last in that thing, because he did have to blow on it a lot to get it up there.
I mean, it's got a fan in here.
Does Danny have a bra on? Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. And listen, I got a newfound support for females. We like female parts, but I'm just going to tell you right now, my back is hurting already, boys. And I've had this on for about 30 minutes right here, and I've already taken some Tylenol for my back. So a lot of respect to you females out there. Sorry about that. Didn't mean that. I never had that. I never understood it, but now I do. Talking about waxing ass wearing a bra, Dead Rabbit. Confidence, baby. Confidence. Coleman, no, we will draw for the reel. I think Brooks has got to take that thing off. We will draw for the reel. Oh, you can't see it there because of that. Here in a little bit. And Tim likes the color. It is a good color. So,
hey, Carlos.
Hey, it doesn't matter, does it, John G? It doesn't matter. Now, listen, while we're waiting on Brooks, I think Brooks is undressing. Come on, Danny. You know this ain't your first time cranking and yanking. Oh, always a guy from Louisiana down there. Got something to say, right? Adam, good evening. There's, I guarantee you somebody pulled this up and went, no,
Yep.
not tonight.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
Not tonight. Anyway, so we were going to talk, and we'll talk about what Brooks is seeing on the water right now, but I wanted to talk about the best baits ever. That's what we were going to do. I should have had a pink robe on for sure. What you don't know is I got nothing on underneath. That's all I got to say right there. I'm not going to stand up. I might get in trouble. See Fred Ashcraft. What did I tune into? A little bit of fun. All right, Roland Martin.
Yes.
What's the best bait of all time? Look, there's Brooks back in his normalcy.
Can y'all see me? I can't see myself. Is that normal?
No, we see you.
Normal.
Okay.
We see you. You look good.
What's normal about this episode, huh?
Yeah. Go the other way, Kevin. Look, Kevin, it's a technology. He's holding. There you go.
There you go. Hey, I'm old now. You got to realize that.
We do. Trust me, we know.
85 years old. Did I tell you I had 19 wins on the Bassmaster Trail? Huh?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, well, I did. The old spinnerbait. That's my number one lure.
You like that? Number one lure of all time.
For me, it is.
And let me ask you, Roland, did you like those Terminator spinnerbaits?
I love them Terminator spinnerbaits. Right there's one of them for you.
Is that one of them for you?
Yes, sir, it is.
Well, Roland, I tell you what, I appreciate you joining us tonight. It's great to have a living legend on that. We'll talk about your son and your granddaughter here in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, Dave, best bait of all time.
A jig.
A jig. Absolutely. I can go with that one. Tony.
This one's a personal favorite just because it caught me my first fish I ever mounted on the wall, and that's a buzzbait.
And a buzzbait. So we got a buzzbait, a spinnerbait, a jig. Brooks, you're the young guy here.
I'm going to probably go with the fluke. The
fluke is the best bait of all time.
I mean, you can do weightless, put it on about anything. I mean, you can get a lot with the fluke. Fluke or shaky head.
Fluke or shaky head. Okay, I can go with that. Let's see. There'll be some serious questions tonight, and I thought I saw one. Brooks, have you ever thrown a dice bait?
Never tried it. Nope.
You lie like a dog. Honestly, you've never tried it?
No, I've thrown it.
Yeah, I bet you have. I can tell by who asked the question right there. There's Damien. He must know something in there. Let's see. A legend in his own mind. My Terminator spinner and buzzbait seem like they flex too much. Ron Swinford said it's hard to beat a Texas rigged worm. Chase Carey says a big fluke guy, and you are a big fluke guy. And let's go ahead and get this out of the way too. You just fished the Ultimate Angler. Tell us a little bit about that experience there.
Man, it was awesome. So it was cool just to get to fish against a lot of those guys I've kind of just watched my whole life and have them in just kind of a single tournament. And the format was really cool. And it was kind of laid back where everyone was just almost like really happy just to be there and just have something new. Refreshing, for sure.
For the things.
Yep.
What thing?
Hey, Kevin.
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
Tell your lady to pipe down over there. We're going to have to do something with you guys.
Well, what are you going to do?
Nothing. Nothing. Let me ask you this. Okay, Brooks, seriously,
Yeah.
When you got there, 200 of the best anglers in the world. Probably that might have been the most complete field of any tournament we know about as far as talent top to bottom. When you were there and you're around all these anglers, was there anybody there that you were kind of like in awe of?
I wouldn't necessarily say in awe of. It was just really cool to see a lot of those guys and like how just, I don't want to say like natural, but the way you always see them on like an ad or a short video or just on stage, like they're really just all kind of down to earth people for the most part. And it's just cool to see them in a different setting. But it was really cool to launch next to him, weigh in next to like Jacob Wheeler and guys like that, just be in the same bag line. And it was a really cool experience for sure. But I wouldn't say in awe. It was just more like eye opening. It's just kind of like another dude. But
I got you. That's still awesome though. I'm not going to tell you where I got the bra. Let's see here. There's some things YouTube should regulate. Brooks, John G wants to know, is a fluke a year-round bait?
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, there's a couple months where it doesn't play as much, but I mean, there's always some variation of it to play, whether that's on a jig head or like we throw at weightless a bunch out here for sure.
Okay, what are you doing it like right now, going into November? How are you going to be throwing a fluke if you're going to be throwing one at all?
There's still a pretty good population of fish kind of like relating around brush, and then there's a lot of them just kind of up shallower as well this time of year. So I'm still throwing it almost weightless, a little bit of weight on the hook, but it's definitely a bait that's, I won't say phasing out, but I'll probably have more of a fluke style bait on a jig head the next couple months in November, December for sure.
Okay, and listen, you guys, if y'all got any questions, jump in there and ask them for sure. If not, I'm just going to keep reading them. Now, there's one here for Roland. Roland.
Yes.
When does the spawn start in Florida?
Oh, it'll start probably end of November, 1st of December. It'll start rolling from Okeechobee north.
Okay. Are you looking forward to fishing it?
Oh, yes. Yes, I got my guides out now so they can figure out where everything's at.
Okay, I got you. Is that where your start got? Where you became such a great angler and won all these events?
Oh yeah, for sure. I started rolling Martin's Marina in 1981 when we just bought. It was just a shack then, and from then we built it up where it's a full class marina. We have a tiki bar, restaurant, hotels. We have condos that you can rent. We got an RV park too for those that have trailers that want to bring it.
I can believe it. I can believe it for sure out there. So this might just turn into the Roland Martin infomercial right here for sure.
Hey, did I tell you I was 19 times runner up too? Just lost by a couple ounces up to a couple pounds.
No, you didn't, Roland.
You didn't know that, did you? I
No.
was pretty good back in my day.
Well, that's what we hear. Hell, we ought to let Kevin be Roland Martin every damn episode. He won't hush. He'll talk more if we let him be Roland Martin. He's a great Roland Martin. Brooks, what makes you throw a shaky head versus a Nico?
Primarily the depth that the fish are in. So if I see a fish in 10 foot or less, kind of closer to the bank, I like the Nico. It's a little more subtle. You can kind of drag that bait to them. Not as loud, like hitting the water or anything like that. And then the shaky head kind of excels for me. About 15, 20, 25, 30, anytime you can kind of throw it directly at those fish and get down to them. But definitely shallow, it seems like a Nico is a little bit more of a subtle presentation. The shaky is one when those fish are kind of that mid-range to a little bit deeper. You can just kind of just throw it straight to them and get a lot of bites for sure.
Okay, there you go. Good answer right there. Adam, I hope I didn't scare your pizza guy off. Coleman wants to know, what's your favorite size Z2?
Z2 is a pretty good minnow for sure in the winter. I think it's just a 3-inch. They got a color like bad shad's really good, pearl white. I do that a lot out here on Laniers, but definitely just that 3-inch. But I've thrown them up to 7-inch out there in Texas and Demeke area for some bigger largemouth and everything. But pretty much around here, that 3-inch will be the ticket for a little bit later into November and December.
Okay, Dave, I want you to be thinking of a Guntersville question for this young man too, like if he experienced something out there in Guntersville.
Okay.
Yeah, out there, just be thinking. Whenever you're ready, you let me know. And then
Yes.
Tony, I don't know, you just look like you're drinking and having a good time. I'm busting out of this thing right here, boys. The spice is everywhere. Brooks, drop shot or shaky head this time of year, asking for a friend. That's Tim. Tell him the wrong answer.
No, definitely shaky head.
Definitely shaky head.
Yeah.
For sure. Cranking and Yanking wants to know, why am I looking at a live scope background? There is a story behind that cranking and yanking. This is the honest to God's truth. When I was looking for a background to try to spice the show up a little bit for you and you only, and I promised that on my kid's head, I said, I'm going to find a live scope background just for cranking and yanking. And that's exactly why we have a mega live image right there. For sure. 100%. What's your favorite color fluke there, Brooks?
I'll throw a few. I like the bolder colors, whether that's like pearl white, ham bone, chartreuse, anything like that. I'm not really the guy that sits there and tries to have like green or purple sparkle. I'm more kind of big on like timing and location and presentation with all that. But I like the bold colors. I can see them, the fish can see them, and a lot of the times I'm moving it so fast it's just to get kind of like a reaction bite from them. So I like the bold ones, especially on like low light, cloudy days for sure. But I don't get too crazy into the different flake and all that.
Okay, Tony, what about you? Your favorite color fluke?
I'm usually using the pearl. That's most of the time pearl white.
Just stay consistent with it.
Yep, that's 99% of the time that's what I use.
All right, Dave.
Glimmer blue.
Glimmer blue. That's the only one. Just glimmer blue.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Roland.
I go with the pearl or the disco green.
Disco green. There you go. I like that. Chase Carey wants to know, Brooks, spinning rod or bait caster for the fluke?
I really throw both for sure. It kind of depends if I'm on like more of a spotted bass lake or largemouth lake, but definitely out here I like a spinning rod for the most part. It just seems like it's a little more forgiving when some of those fish go to like nip the bait or something. It seems like I can hook a few extra fish at the end of the day if I throw it on a spinning rod.
I got you. All right, John G., you're absolutely right on this question. Have any of y'all tried the Berkeley Screaming Chapo yet? I doubt Danny has, but what about the other guys?
Nope,
Haven't
tried it.
Roland?
Nope. Sure haven't.
Brooks, you ain't tried it either?
What are you laughing at?
No,
Come on.
I haven't tried it either.
Nothing. Now listen, Roland, you don't own any of that stuff your wife does, according to Joshua.
It's still got my name on it, don't it?
Well, I guess so. Brooks, when will the ditch bite, especially with the Kitech, start to get hot?
It's actually everything's kind of sped up this year. We're actually already catching them. Pretty good at ditches. Probably shouldn't have said that, but we've had a couple of good trips this week, and it's really just due to that cold snap, and a lot of that bait is kind of rushing back to some of that stained water. But you can absolutely catch them on a Kitech right now. But for it to be like really effective, I'd say another 2 weeks or so. If the weather continues to stay the same and kind of have these cool nights.
Yeah, and I noticed on your Facebook post today too. Or did you post those pics yet? Have you posted those pics already? Okay. I didn't want to make sure I could say something.
You're good.
Look like you was getting a rock crawler bite today.
Yep, we got on a really good cranking bite, which it's been cool to see some of the low temperatures. And there's been a lot of fish up shallow, but those fish get a lot more apt to bite when you do get some of those cooler water temps. So those fish are definitely starting to chew.
Okay, that's awesome. It looked like some pretty good size too.
Yeah, we caught a good many on a crankbait today. I think we caught two or three over 4 as well. So definitely some big ones up there.
Have you noticed anything like a turnover kicking up?
Oh yeah, it's anywhere above Brown's Bridge. It's kind of like Sweet Tea looking, and then around Port Royale ish, flat Mud Creek. It's got a little bit of stain, and then all the way to the chute, Flowery, all the way down to the dam. It's not too bad yet, but it's making its way down for sure.
Did somebody mention Sweet Tea?
Yep.
I like Sweet Tea.
I bet you do.
Hey, let me stop you just a minute for an info commercial here. I've got the helicopter lure.
Somebody just asked
I
about
do.
that.
my God.
I do. Wait a minute. And it comes in a box, and it's got the tape, the videotape, and the instructions on how to use it. So if you're interested, you can contact me after the show.
Okay. Can I just really ask you, Kevin, why in the hell you still have that?
Why? Because it works. It
Oh,
works.
does it? It works? Okay.
It's a secret lure.
Okay. I believe you,
I'm just
boss.
now letting it out of the bag.
I believe you 100%. Danny, you give a whole new meaning to Lanier or bust. I'm about to bust. My back is, honest to God, y'all, my back is hurting. It's crazy. Tyler wants to know, Brooks, how do you, what would you recommend to someone wanting to get into guiding?
Guiding is one of those things. It's awesome. I wouldn't jump into it until you spend like an excessive amount of time like on a body of water for sure. Because like personally, a guide trip, like I stress myself out more with a guide trip than I would about like me fishing a tournament, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
if I'm fishing a tournament and I mess up, that's just on me. I can go home, I can deal with it. But a guide trip, I pressure myself a little bit more. Someone's not saying it's like expectations, but you definitely have kind of a bar you need to meet with, whether that's a specific technique they want to learn or trying to enhance some live scope skills or catching fish a certain way. It's definitely one of those things where you have to be comfortable enough to move around the lake and have areas and kind of have a lot of stuff in your back pocket. And then also just kind of being somewhat like a people person and making that environment really enjoyable and kind of positive energy is a really big thing I do as well. That would be something I would definitely suggest if you are looking into getting into guiding.
Yeah. Tony, what are you laughing at?
Ken Pruitt's comment down.
I ain't got down there yet.
Mine are just ticking, so I see it come up, and he's got a pretty good one.
Okay, I'm definitely guys. So listen, I'm in a bra only because it's a spice rack. I'm gonna show you guys one more time. Right there. All right, there you go. Spices, guys. No, it's not a new one of those episodes. Brooks, what is your go-to fluke rod and reel setup?
It's a 852S NRX with any 3000 size Shimano out there. Vanford, Stratix, Twin Powers, they're all pretty good, but definitely that 852 NRX is an awesome rod. They got it in some different models too, but it's just a 7.1 medium fast, and it'll get the job done for sure.
I've got to take this off. This is killing me. I saw a question there for Roland. Is it true that you're an expert on living in the gray area of the rules? Great returns every year. LOL.
I don't know who would say something like that. Son, that's just not right.
I'm going to end up getting sued on this. I guarantee you something. Let's see. Tony looks like Justin Bieber in about 10 years. And yeah, I said beer burr. There you go. Brooks, thoughts on a mop jig for Lanier spots? Asking for a friend.
Remember that Damien?
Yes, Damien.
Yeah.
And they keep asking about the Koiki and stuff too. So evidently you're throwing those a little bit, right?
I've messed with it a little bit. It's all right. It was pretty cool up north, but it works down here too. But honestly, there's so many options for each situation. It's a cool bait, but it's not really shattering life for me.
All right. Tony, I'm gonna get out of this thing. Give me a take a couple questions real quick till I can get my shirt on.
I can't pull the questions up, but Jerry Catula asked Brooks, have you used the hack that uses a treble hook on a wide gap hook when fishing a fluke?
Let me see that comment.
Probably down towards the bottom.
Down towards the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there it is. I have used the treble hook on the fluke. but it really seemed to like almost like impede the action of it, whether when I'm burning it or something. It's not like a fluid motion, if that makes sense. And I'm sure the hookups are a little bit better, but I can't really get the fluke to do what I needed to do with that treble hanging off it.
All right, we're good. All right, we're good. So let's see. Where am I here? Underspin, frog, or punching? Steven Sturgeon. I guess he's asking which one you'd like to do that. I don't know. Did I miss that? I'm getting caught up now. Now that I'm back, we'll figure it out. Let's just scroll all the way to the bottom.
Be good.
We'll do that. Any tips for a woman who wants to get into fishing? Jess.
Go fishing.
Yeah, I've treated about the same as anyone else for sure.
I think, you know what though, now this is honestly not. I talked to some women from time to time on this thing. One thing is they feel a little bit intimidated, like they're not going to be taken seriously.
Right.
You know, as opposed to like if we had a female guest come on, that maybe guys wouldn't show up because they don't feel like a woman can share information or anything like that. And there's a lot of women out there that can absolutely wax y'all's asses fishing out there. But you get what I'm saying, Brooks?
For sure. Yeah.
Yes, Anthony, we are at some point. But Jess, go fishing. Michael wants to know, do you throw a fluke with a nail weight in it or just weightless?
Yeah, I'll throw a nail weight in it time to time if it's really windy or something like that, and I kind of need to get that bait out there if they're sitting a little bit deeper. But I don't love doing it, but I will do it at times.
Okay, there you go. Jess, are there any resources? I tell you what, are you on Facebook? Just let me know if you're on Facebook and I can direct you a little bit. Matthew Smith wants to know, going into colder weather and water, when will you slow down your retrieve versus keeping it quick and erratic?
Okay, so the thing I slow down the most would be like your shaky heads, your Nikos, your jigs, a lot of that. Like when it gets really, really cold into December, January, I'll let that bait soak for 30, 45 seconds over a minute on some fish. But when it comes to a lot of the other stuff like cranking, throwing a minnow, anything that kind of reaction style, I keep it about the same. And a lot of those fish will still just kind of lash out and bite it. But anytime you go to like I said, with like a worm or a jig or something like that, I've watched them on live scope and it takes them upwards of a minute sometimes to sometimes to bite it.
Okay, I got you there. Jess, you are in the group. Shoot me a message on Messenger and I will put you in contact with a couple of people, especially some of the females. And sorry that you jumped on this and I was in a bra. I knew that would happen. Something like that would happen there for sure. I'm trying to get better at fishing a jig. Tony, I'm going to let you start with this and we'll go you, Dave, Roland, and then back to Brooks. Basic tips for a beginner with a jig.
For me, it was simply picking it up and taking it on the lake and fishing with it all day. That was my biggest thing. And then something else I figured out later on in it, I only needed 2 colors, black and blue and a green pumpkin. I didn't have to go crazy with all the colors and stuff. And then just start targeting areas where you know fish should be. That was basically what I did. I mean, I took it to the lake here, close to home. And I went out one day, like a Saturday, and I did not take any other rod out of the rod box and just fished with it all day and threw it everywhere I would have thrown a Texas rig, a shaky head, anything like that, and just worked it through there. And then started playing around with different like ball head versus arky head versus, swim jig type stuff. And that's what I did. I mean, I just made myself catch fish with it. And that's what I do with any lure I'm trying to learn. I'll take it to a lake where, I know fish bite good or, there's decent fish in it, and I'll fish it all day until I get bit. It's just how I do it.
Okay. What about you, Dave?
I got to agree with Tony. Is pick it up, don't put it down. Start with something simple like make sure your jig's heavy enough you can feel it on the bottom.
Yep.
And that way you're making bottom contact. And like I said, just pick it up and don't put it down till you get some bites.
Okay. All right. What about you, Roland?
It's hard to add anything to that explanation there, but I would say it's just like fishing a worm. You just want to drag it a little bit, and especially this time of year when it's getting colder. And you got to maintain bottom contact, that's for sure. And I would go with what they said, the green pumpkin. But down here in the Big O, I'm going to go with the black and blue before I do the green pumpkin.
Okay, solid advice, Roland. Solid advice. Brooks.
For sure. I mean, kind of what y'all touched on already. Anytime I'm learning a bait, I try to limit the rods on the deck and spend a ton of time with it. But I keep it simple on the colors. I keep some variation of green pumpkin, something a little bit darker. And then if I do, notice I'm spitting up a certain color crawfish, I'll adjust the trailer a little bit. But definitely keeping it on the bottom. But some of the things we learned with scope using it is you can get a lot more aggressive with the jig than I ever thought. Kind of like snapping it, popping it, getting that whole bait to actually flare at times. And there's a little bit of some kind of nuances with the jig, but it's something I usually have on the deck, and it can be definitely a big bite producer.
Yeah, Jerry, don't do what I do, because even though I tie jigs, I'm terrible with them. But I'll do what Tony said is I'll say, all right, I'm going to commit to a jig today. And 15 minutes in, when I haven't got a bite, I got a shaky head or something in my hand because I want to get the bite. So you really got to commit to it for sure.
And something else with a jig too that'll really help you get bit with a jig. Jig's a big fish bait. Learn how to skip. Practice. There's videos out there showing you how to do it, whether it be tape on the reel or skipping it in the driveway into a 5-gallon bucket. Learn how to skip, and that'll change your jig bite totally, because I found it worked a lot better when I learned how to skip, or I got better at skipping.
I got you. Now, Crankin' and Yankin's giving out advice over here to Jess. Bait caster only, wacky worm #1 in live scope sucks. So, I mean, that sounds like something Crankin' and Yankin would start off with. But good call on the wacky worm for sure. All right, Brooks, when Demiki fishing, what is your go-to size jig head? Jacob Wheeler likes a 3/16 for most applications, for example.
Yeah. So if I'm seriously throwing a minnow, I'm gonna have probably at least 2 or 3 tied up. But if I could only have one, definitely a 1/4 ounce is one that I think I can do pretty much everything with. But especially like this time of year on Lanier and moving kind of deeper into the winter, definitely like a 3/8 and a half can be something you absolutely need when those fish are kind of crashing through bait balls.
Dave, what about you being over there on Guntersville a lot? Favorite size jig head?
It depends on I'm kind of with Brooks. It depends on the wind and the current. If we got current, I usually have to go up a little higher. About the highest I go is, I've gone 1/2 ounce, but 3/8 is usually about the biggest I go. If it's winds blowing, I may go to 1/4. If I got current, I usually go on up to 3/8, just because it moves that bait so much when it gets down in that current.
Okay, I got you. Tony Widowie.
I'm sticking with 1/4 ounce or 3/8 typically when and like I said, I just got into it last year, so I'm not an expert on it, but I've got a bunch of the different queen tackle heads, different sizes I'm messing with this year, but usually it's 3/8 or 1/4 ounce.
I got you. Dave's got to get out of his dice bait. I can tell. I don't blame him right now. All right, Brooks, what is your favorite scope bait?
Probably or a Nico rig.
Okay, Nico.
Yeah, I mean the Nico, it's either a Nico rig or a drop shot. Like when I travel a bunch, because like those baits, you can catch all 3 species on them, deep shallow. But I think a Nico or a drop shot would be 2 other besides just like saying a minnow.
You guys are undressing over there.
Man, I got a splitting headache with that stupid wig on.
Take that baby off if you want to.
Oh, I know. I'm kidding.
we got Roland here to carry on, for the Halloween stuff. So for sure.
Son.
Okay. Stephen goes, yes, that was a question for everyone. All right, we'll start off with you, Brooks. Right now, underspin, frog, or punching at this time. So I guess if you're frogging or punching, you got to be over there, of course, on a lake like Guntersville or something like that. Let's just say all you guys were on Guntersville. What would you be throwing right now between those 3 options?
I'd be punching. I had a lot of fun doing that a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if the frog bite's taken off again yet, but I like punching, so that'd be my pick.
All right, Dave, you're the next Guntersville guy. What would you do? Or would you do any of those? I don't think you'd do any of those, would you?
If I had to pick one of those 3 doing what I've been doing, I'd throw an underspin.
Out on a ledge or something like that?
No, they're stacked up in those little bitty shallow drains. Where I've been throwing it. If I can't throw the derrick hoop, I'm gonna throw probably the next best thing is underspin.
Okay, Tony.
I'd be going to get on a boat with Dave because I don't fish Guntersville that much. But my luck's always been a jerk bait or like a Texas rig worm or something like that, or Texas rig worm or something. But I mean, I'm not Guntersville savvy yet.
Okay, I got you. Now, Brooks Coleman wants you to know that
You didn't
amethyst.
ask me what happened. You forget
Oh,
about me.
no, I didn't listen. Listen,
How could you
listen.
forget rolling?
You know, my time's valuable here.
All right, Roland, what would you do?
I'd be punching.
Why
I'd
would you be
punching them
punching?
hyacinths and hydrilla. Be throwing it up in that eelgrass, the reeds. I'd be punching.
Okay, you good?
I'm good, son.
Brooks, the amethyst color you created with cast is sweet, by the way. Huge fan of the cast stuff. Not sponsored or anything. It is a pretty cool color.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how'd you come up with it?
So that's the color I've always wanted to kind of see created in the straight tail minnow bait, and there really wasn't truly like anything like it in that color of a purple. It'd either be like almost morning dawn or kind of like pearl white, and that color it can be used in a little bit like more stained water, a little bit clear, and I've had a lot of luck with that color and different style bait. So I just kind of want to fine tune it, put my own twist on it, and then get in a bait we throw a bunch too.
Yeah, it looks good. All right, Roland, I got you a question here. I want to know how you feel about this. Scott and Hillary are fishing the dual threat team trail in 2026. Is that okay with you?
I think that's fine for them. The experience that she's going to get from this is going to help her down the road. You know, they're offering $100,000 for first place. And when you go to the Classic, it's $250,000. That's good money for a young lady in college.
I think so too. I absolutely think so too. I'm glad to have your blessing. Okay, guys, all you can do this. What would cause a live scope unit to change orientation without being touched? Could low voltage do it? Any one of you guys?
What brands are you using?
I don't know.
Because my Lowrance will change. It'll do some funny stuff every once in a while. It'll flip and then comes right back. I don't know if that's a software deal. I haven't updated mine in a while. But again, mine's a active target. He's got Garmin. He said.
You ever mess with that, Brooks? You experienced that?
I've had it happen a few times when I had my old unit. Sometimes if you kind of drop in the water too fast, it'll mess up the orientation, or if that transducer gets rattled like on a long run or anything. But typically, most things like that, I just turn the unit off, turn it back on, and especially like if you drop your trolling too fast, kick it one direction, the whole bottom will start rocking. Just turn it off, turn it back on is the best thing for sure.
I got you, Dave.
I think that active target too. It makes a hell of a difference. Your active target makes a big difference.
I've got active target too, but my eyesight's not as good, so it always looks fuzzy.
Okie dokie. Anybody got any experience with the new Zoom thick trick worm on a Nico? I have not thrown the thick trick worm. How about any of you guys?
Not yet.
Hell, ain't that basically just like throwing a Cinco, though? Wouldn't you think it? I haven't even seen one of them.
It's literally the Nico Fat from Yamamoto to a T.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, no, it's like same color, same name. It's pretty crazy.
Is that it? So, but have you thrown any of those?
Yeah, I've thrown those a bunch. I haven't thrown the Zoom one, but
okay. But like, just say that the one you do throw, you throw it a lot, or is that just something that comes and goes whenever you feel like it?
No, like a Cinco is definitely like a mainstay for me for sure.
Right. Okay, I got you. Dave, what kind of patterns do you recommend for January on Guntersville?
A minnow. Brooks will like that. That's how he'd catch him probably. An A-rig, trap or chatterbait, jerk bait up shallow.
Okay. Is that what you would do, Brooks, out there?
For sure, definitely. I've been there in March a few times, and the trap and chatterbait bite was pretty unreal on a lot of high spots. But I haven't been there in January yet. But I'm just by a lot of the tournaments the past few years. I'm sure there's a bunch of big ones floating around in some of those areas.
Yeah,
my first trip to Guntersville ever was in January. It was like 17 degrees outside. It was jerk bait and A-rig. That's what we used. We caught them pretty good.
Okay. Darren Moss wants to know favorite drop shot worm there, Brooks.
I'm simple. I'm a The Robo Worm, Morning Dawn, 6-inch. I'll throw it pretty much anywhere in the country.
Okay. What about you guys? And Roland, I guess if you drop shot, you can throw that in there too.
If I drop shot, it's going to be an 8 feet or less.
Right.
Down here in the big hole.
Yeah, I got it.
I that's not even in my arsenal. Now, if I go up north, I'll have it with me, but not down here.
Okay. If you're up north, Roland, what drop shot worm are you using?
I'm going to use a Morning Dawn drop shot, 4.5 inch.
Okay. You got a particular brand you like?
No, just Bass Pro Shops is going to sponsor everything I do, so it's going to be a Bass Pro Shops worm.
Okay. All right. There you go. Tony?
We're all laughing at.
No, we're not laughing. We're not laughing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not laughing.
Robo Worm is always go-to Morning Dawn. That's one of my first ones out. I'm using it.
Dave?
The new Rapala Janitor.
Rapala Janitor. You like that one?
It's the only one I can get. I put it in the pool. It's the only one I can get to float almost perfectly horizontal. I don't know how it does it, but it floats that way. We catch a bunch of fish at Guntersville, that grass on it.
Okay, we'll do 2 more questions and then we'll draw for this reel. Roland, back in the 90s, Gary Yamamoto showed you the Cinco before he sold it to retailers. Is it true that the original mold was from a ballpoint pen?
He didn't tell me it was from a ballpoint pen. If it was a pretty damn thick one.
Okay, there you go. Ken, I don't know what Ken's doing there at night. All right, here you go, Brooks. What are some good minnow tips? I'm not very good at it. I get follows, but no bites. How can Tyler get more bites?
All right, so minnow fishing is kind of like a Pandora's box with like different things, but a couple of things I would say definitely to keep in mind. Always keep that bait a lot further above them than you would think. The size of your jig head is really, really important, and then also the size of your minnow. Those kind of go hand in hand. I adjust those a lot, but then the biggest next thing I would say is actually like the speed and cadence of your like shaking / rolling of that bait. So definitely keep that bait above them. Pay a lot of attention to how fast those fish are coming up to the bait. And then if you have a lot of them not committing, definitely kind of go back and either go to a lighter, heavier jig head, and then maybe adjust the size of that minnow itself.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Nathan Todd, I like this comment, and it is true. It's amazing to me how different the fishing is just a couple hours south of y'all and to the west and everything. I agree with you 100%. And actually, you can say that going in the north, you're going up into Tennessee, right? I mean, it changes. It seems like we've got our Highland reservoirs around here that fish one way, and that's it. And I can't get that there. That comment's off. All right, guys, so real quick, we're going to go ahead and do this. Now, Father Time, have you got a question of the night?
I do, and I just sent it to Tony because I can't see the comment, so he'll have to monitor it.
Okay, well, we'll take care of that here in a little bit. In about 20 minutes, we'll do that. Now, guys, if you're a member of the channel, either at the $4.99 or $9.99 mark, hey, we do this at the beginning of each month. Last month, we gave away one of these. We're going to give away one tonight. This is your Spro JC Elite Bait Casting Reel in the 731. $4.99 guys, they get 1 entry. The $9.99 get 2. And again, we'll do this again December 1st. We'll have another great prize that we'll be talking about. But the key thing is with this, like you guys see how we're having to do this differently. We're going to have to rebuild us a studio, buy new cameras, all that. Well, what you're doing with this membership is helping us to get closer to that point so that we can all get back together again and make fun of Kevin in person. So I've got everybody's name in here. Let me give it a shake real quick. This is Highbrow doing it. I cut everybody's names in here. All right, and the winner for this is, let's see who it is. I wadded them all up too, and I got to unwrap every one of them. All right, the winner is Lane Holt Fishing. All right, Lane Holt Fishing. If you're watching, need to make sure I can get in touch with you. If you guys know Lane, tell him, and we're going to give him a new reel. So congratulations. Thank you to everybody for doing that, and we'll do it again December 1st. We'll have another great prize. But Lane Holt, you have won 7-3-1 Spro JC Elite Reel right there. So that's a pretty good prize. So, but we appreciate everybody that helps out the channel. All right. Absolutely. So, and trust me, I got that reel. You're going to like it. You ever throwed any of those yet, Brooks?
I actually have not. They look really solid though, for sure.
Dude, they're good.
I've heard a lot of good things, but
Yeah, they're good. I still have a trip coming up with you at some point.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, dang, wonder if Danny's ever going to follow up.
I know that my daughter. Here's what Tatum bought me a trip with Brooks for Father's Day. I think it was Father's Day, right?
It was, yeah.
And I was like, damn, girl. I was like, if I wanted to go fishing with Brooks bad enough, I'd probably just call him up and say, Brooks, take me fishing like that. She goes, well, like that. But I had to reschedule it. She got pissed off at me because we were supposed to go, that weekend?
Yeah, yeah. And you're coming back from that big trip.
I was coming back from Puerto Rico. And she's like, I guess it wasn't a good present. I'm like, no, it was fantastic, baby. But I want to go with Brooks in the wintertime. We can put me on some big girls. All right, so here we're going to do this, guys, because we're so far behind. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, because I am way behind. And now we will start again. So if we missed a question or you wanted to ask Brooks something, throw it out there. We'll start all over again. Let's see. A lot of people drop shotting with Morning Dawn. But have any fished a Morning Dawn Senko rigged wacky? I have tried that, Ken, before. I've never had any success with it. But I don't wacky rig a Senko very often. But I have tried that. Have you, any of you guys, a Morning Dawn Senko?
I have not done a Senko, but I've done a Fat Baby Finesse, a KVD Fat Baby Finesse.
I can't even take this shit serious like that. What about you, Dave?
I have not. The only thing I throw bolt like that is in the spring. I throw a trick worm, like a floating worm, but not wacky rig.
Okay, I got you. Tony?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got the trick worm that's Morning Dawn, but I don't do it wacky or nothing like that.
Okay, and Brooks?
Not too much. Maybe try it.
Yeah,
y'all need to try that Fat Baby Finesse.
Fat
4-inch.
4-inch. We lost Tony. Somebody probably called him on his phone. He'll be back in a second. Dave, question for you.
Mm-hmm.
When using a janitor on a drop shot, do you use the full length or trim it down?
Oh, I use a full length.
Okay. What is full length? 6-inch?
6 1/4, 6.5. Brooks, do you know?
I think it's right around 6-inch for sure.
It's about like a regular trick worm. They're pretty close in length. Just completely different worm.
I got you. Now, Dead Rabbit, listen, I know you said you don't win anything. You still got to keep playing and keep trying, right? We'll start off with you, Brooks. Favorite jerk bait brand?
Mega Bass.
Like the Mega Bass. Okay. What's so good about a Mega Bass compared to everything else?
I don't know. There's some baits that I call it like an it factor. And it's just, it works. It has worked. It probably always will work, kind of like a Senko. And I've thrown a ton of other jerk baits, and every time I just go back to that one. Whether that's the standard or the +1, it's just something about it is just right. And it's one I have tied on. We caught a good many on it today.
I got you. Tony, I know you like jerk bait, so I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Stunna. And the reason why the Mega Bass is really good, the reason why I like the Stunna is I don't have to worry about the hooks on the Stunna originally. You know, the hooks, I don't have to worry about changing them out.
Yeah.
Except for the ones they put on sale last year at Academy. Apparently, they knew they had a bad run of hooks, and the darn things, I kept breaking hooks on it. But typically, the Stunna has always been a good jerk bait for me, and it's only because of the hook issue.
Okay, Dave?
Lucky Crab Pointer.
Okay, going with old reliable right there. Roland?
Well, there ain't but one, and that's the Bass Pro Shops brand. But if you would ask me, I'd tell you the McDart.
Okay, well, listen.
McDart.
Yeah, I like the McDart myself. I started throwing it last year. I like that a lot. Brooks and I saw a guy on Lanier that looked like me. Brooks, you and Doc Holliday saw somebody that looked like me?
Oh, yeah, we did the other day.
Short, fat, and good looking?
No, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
It ain't bad at all. Last tournament of this year. Okay, here we go. Darian, last tournament of this year, Saturday on Hartwell. No scope. What's the juice? Brooks, you want to try that one?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I would definitely, I'd be focusing shallow on a lot of clay and rock. I mean, you could definitely catch those fish with live scope, but you can be just as effective without it. Just throwing a crankbait and a worm up there less than 10 foot. There's a bunch of big ones up there right now.
Yeah, if you were going on, have you fished Blue Ridge?
I have not. No.
Well, me and Tony got that Blue Ridge here on Saturday, so trying to get any juice we can get for Blue Ridge. I've gotten a lot of it so far, and it's going to help us win the tournament for sure. But we're going in there confident, ain't we? Paul B is a new member. Thank you very much. Didn't Clint almost mention the OSP Varuna jerkbait on Tuesday? Did I say that right? Did I pronounce that right? This one right here?
I don't know.
He mentioned one. What was it about that he liked? Do you remember, Dave?
I don't remember.
I don't either. All right, Darian, throw a cast at Silver Punk. We're keeping that on the down low. Okay, there you go, for sure. All right, Roland, you want to go ahead and get your question of the week out of the way?
I can do that.
While we've caught up, and Brooks might need to take him a sip for his throat. What you drinking tonight, Brooks?
Water.
Oh, you listen, I saw something else that was not a water earlier. Is your daddy watching or something?
No. He probably is. He's downstairs.
All right, so let's see. I owe Ron Swinford I owe him a rock crawler, don't I? From earlier, because he guessed what I was wearing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Ask the question. I'll come back with another prize.
All right. The question for tonight is: what is the average number of copies issued by Bassmaster during the preceding 12 months? Again, what is the average number of copies issued by Bassmaster during the preceding 12 months?
You there? Whoever gets this, I got you a sashimi, chrome, olive. That's a pretty good prize right there. You might not be throwing it right now, but you'll get that. All right, so you guys, can you see the answers right there?
Yeah, I can see them.
All right, Brooks, we're going out fishing Saturday, me and you. What are we doing? On Lanier, you and I are going out. Yeah, you and I are going out. We're going to hit that crankbait bite again like you were doing today, or what are we going to do?
Yeah, if we've got some clouds and wind, we can do that all day. But for the most part, that's kind of like a kind of a morning deal. If it gets sunny and slick, and then after that, we've been catching a lot of them, kind of like in that mid-range depth from like 10 to 20 shaky head jigs, some fishing ditches, and then there's still some lurking around brush as well.
Okay, what would be the one thing we're definitely not going to be doing?
Definitely not be doing.
Yeah.
We're not going to be throwing a drop shot. That's not going to happen.
What about any top water or anything like that?
Top water.
Is it about done?
It's about done. Fluke will still play for a couple more weeks.
Okay, fair enough. I like that. Brooks. No, Michael wants to know, Roland, are we talking the total for the year?
For the preceding 12 months, yes.
Okay, there you go.
The average number.
All right. Brooks, were you throwing a ghostish color rock crawler? I have a couple that are slightly translucent. I don't think it was ghostish. Well, it was. You did have a translucent one, didn't you?
Yeah, that color. That's one of my favorite ones. It's called, I believe, it's called Red River Craw. It's kind of like it's more of like a translucent red one. But honestly, a lot of the times on Lanier, kind of like I was talking about with the Fluke, those fish are up there and you made the right cast. I think they're going to bite it most times. I'm not saying color doesn't matter, but if you have a really sunny day, maybe go with that translucent. Or if you have a cloudy day, maybe go with more of a painted one. But I don't think color's like the biggest deal for sure on that rock crawler with how fast it's moving through there.
All right, I got these two. Which one is it? Is it now this one? Hey, listen, I got it hung in the thing back there, so I had to cut it out real quick. But is it that one?
That's close. That would definitely get you by that.
That one, or this one's more translucent.
Yeah.
It's got the orange on it, but there's not a lot of red to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive it's called Red River Craw.
Okay, were you doing the 55s and not the 50s?
Yeah, I like the 55s to get the extra couple feet. There's a lot of fish in that kind of 7 to 10 foot range, and that one hits them pretty easy on 10 or 12 pound line.
All right, I got you, Dave. Did you ever come up with something for Guntersville? Question?
Yeah, I'm gonna recycle a question.
Recycle it right now.
Tony will love this because he didn't get much out of me. So Brooks, when you're in there, when you're punching and you see
Yep.
this, all the mats and stuff, is there
Yep.
anything you look for in particular as to where to start? Do you look for structure, contours? How do you start?
So I went up there to pre-practice 2 weeks before the tournament, and I spent a lot of time punching. And I'm definitely not the best at it, but I watched like a lot of Mikey Ball's videos and some people that are very, very notable at it. And I actually stumbled on a deal. I probably shouldn't say this, but there's inside creek channels that run through those mats, and anywhere I got around that where it's a slight contour change, there'd be some, and you could flip that whole main river grass for miles and hit that one stretch and consistently go back there and catch one. So that was one thing I picked up on, I think was somewhat decent. And then also, that'd probably be the biggest thing. And then looking just for the kind of like little isolated ones in the turns in the grass were some. But there's some guys that kind of kick my butt punching, but it's definitely something I still got a lot of work to do on.
Well, cool. I gave you good information.
Yep.
Well, Dave, when he was talking about contours, is that kind of what you were talking about with me? Like if you can find the right mats where there's like a little drop off or something like that.
Like he said, it's weird when you knowing where you come from, you're looking for like a ditch, like on Lanier, what we consider ditches on Lanier. Some of this stuff, the ditch may be that much deeper than anything else.
Yeah.
But they'll have like you said, little creek channels and stuff that kind of snake through there. And you just kind of, you just kind of got to find where they are. If you get a bite or two, then like I said, start looking at that map and go, all right, this is a foot or two deeper over here, a foot or two deeper. And like I said, now that it's over with, we can talk about it. I mean, there was a ton of fish on that main lake, on that main river stretch.
Yeah.
Like we've been catching them there for weeks. It was cool. I actually ran into Randy Howell on Sunday.
Really?
And saw where he actually caught the bag. Because I've been fishing the same high spot since June. It's a big high spot shell bar had brim beds on it. They've been spawning every full moon. And he was about 80 yards to my left. At one point, we had probably an acre and a half, 2 acres of fish between both of us just blowing up.
Dang.
It
was day two. He fished it a little bit later, day one, but I had a flat down there, kind of like mid lake, and it was the same thing ish, where just schooling fish kind of periodically. And day one, I caught some pretty good ones there to fill out my like 19-pound bag, and then day two, I gambled and kind of ran back up the river, tried to get another big bite, and came back down. And him and Livesey were power poled down like on one of the hot spots on the flat, and they caught them decent right there. So that's definitely, there's a lot of stuff that goes on there in the fall, and it's kind of you see a lot of guys, like especially in that tournament, they'll like pick their poison. It's really good flipping a frog and they'll make it happen, and then you got some of the other guys that'll run around and chase some of those fish.
Yeah, I think what I saw like post wise, I think Jacob Wall was probably the only one that locked a flipping bait in his hand. I know Livesey was cranking, doing the same thing. I've been catching fish, like I said, in those little depressions that run up in there. I think Randy was throwing top water and he punched and frogs. So it took a little bit of everything to get it done.
It's kind of like what you said earlier too. Like I got a bunch of bites in pre-practice, and then one night I was looking at my graph and I was like, "Oh, this is not random at all." And then kind of a light bulb. I'm like, me being from like not Guntersville, I was like, "This is definitely firsthand knowledge for these guys." But it kind of got the wheels turning for sure.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that turned me onto it was when June hit, and like I said, the brim bed bite kind of really fired up. I was throwing a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight with a Zoom vibra worm. Throw it out there, let it hit the bottom, and just crawl it. And you feel it coming through grass, and all of a sudden you feel it going clink, 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 clink across that shell bar, and you hit grass again, and it clink, clink, clink. And if you idle it, you didn't see the brim beds. I idled, side scanned and everything else, but the brim were there. Every time I've been there since June, there's been dead brim floating. And it was just a hard spot mixed in with the grass, and that's where they've been hanging around.
There you go. All right, Brooks. I'm going to assume nobody's answered the question yet because you guys ain't said it.
Danny, should I give him a clue?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Give him a clue.
It's in this month's Bassmaster magazine.
There you go. Go find it because I know it's been delivered. I got mine sitting over there right across from here. Brooks, what is your rock crawler rod and reel setup?
I throw it on a Dobbins 764, so it's a 7'6", 4 power, and then I throw a Shimano Metanium with a 12-pound fluoro.
Okay, so you and I throw mine on a 12-pound fluoro. I showed mine earlier today on the lunch. I actually throw the Spro rock crawler rod with the Elite. I think I had it. If I don't knock everything over, yeah, I'll break it before I get to fish it. So that's my
sweet
setup. It is a sweet setup. It is. I like yours too. But the big thing is I always worried about the line, and I use 12-pound. When I heard you say 12-pound, I'm like, yeah, all right, good. I nailed it. Brooks, what's your favorite way to fish when you are somewhere with a really steep bank that drops off quickly, like Carter's or the Little River section of Clark's Hill?
Favorite way to fish? I really like getting parallel. If I'm not guiding or like have someone in the boat, if you can actually get parallel to some of those bluff walls, you can do a lot of stuff down there with this line and swim bait, throw a jerk bait, catch some of those suspended fish. But also, like, one thing to think about that I kind of figured out in the past few years on places like Smith Lake and other steep lakes like that is those bluff walls actually have shelves. So it may be like 70, 80 foot deep, but you got to think in 10, 15 foot, you're going to hit a small ledge, and then it's going to go down to maybe 30 or 40, hit another one. So if you can really figure out what section those fish are relating to, you can kind of pick your bait accordingly. And that's something that's helped me a lot fishing like steep, bluffier type stuff.
I got you. Now, Cranky and Yankin's got a question for you. Do you have a bass fishing hero? And if so, who is it? And it cannot be Roland Martin because he don't count.
Well, it would be Roland Martin. I know I got to say it, but it probably I look up to Brandon Palaniuk a lot. I like the way he thinks and kind of the way he goes about everything and the way he carries himself. And his fishing is obviously impressive too, but I'd probably say Brandon Palaniuk.
That you can't go wrong with him. What kind of rod action do you like for minnows? Looking at a moderate for more roll, but do you like a moderate or more fast?
I definitely like more fast. So I'm a little bit weird. I've thrown a minnow for a while, and I've kind of leaned back on like not a heavier rod, but I'm not really into all the kind of like noodly whippy stuff to get the bait to roll. I can kind of adjust that jig head or leader and get that bait to do what I need to do. But I typically stay with like a medium or medium fast for the most part.
Okay, guys, I don't know what kind of answers you're getting, but like I see 36 million right there in one, and then 11 is the very next one. So I'm like, I don't remember the question, but I'm like, they're all over the place. The questions are. All right, Tony Hall's got a question, Brooks. Do you prefer a Kitech minnow on a jig head or an underspin for dragging the ditches?
I actually prefer just a Kitech and a jig head, and I'll throw you a quick little nugget too. I think Spot Sticker still makes them, but if you ever get like a football style head for that Kitech, it'll actually keel it and keep it on the bottom a lot better than a ball head. So throwing a football head with that Kitech is something I do a lot in the ditches to actually keep that bait on the bottom.
When do you think the true ditch bite's going to start? I know it's weather dependent and all that, but when are they really going to start migrating down? Like, is there a water temp?
So, I've seen it. I mean, I've caught ditch fish almost year round on lakes like this, but it's more so just dependent on like what the bait is doing. And like recently this week, we had a bunch of rain. A lot of that bait is just kind of heading towards the back. So we've been catching a bunch in ditches, but I definitely think about 2-3 weeks you can run it almost all day and catch them for sure.
Yeah, a lot of guys are yelling ditch digger for the wing. I do pour a football head with just a straight shank, with just a straight hook for that reason. But the football's turned,
Yep.
just right, and it does do that. And most people get the half ounce, and that gets them on the bottom.
Mm.
But we always have this argument too, and we don't always have it, but we've had it before. Ditch fishing, do you prefer an underspin with a blade when you're dragging it, or do you like the football head without the blade? Because there's two camps right there.
Yeah, I personally just like the plain football head, but I know a lot of guys love that underspin when they're like coming through schools of bait because it'll separate theirs from the others. But I typically just stick with that football head if I'm throwing it.
That's the way I am. You guys up there, ditch fishing, y'all underspin guys or ball head guys?
I have both.
Yeah.
I have an underspin with a straight tail, and then I have usually a 3-inch easy shiner. Is what I've done the best on.
That's a great cold water swim bait.
It is. Tony, because Tony looks like he's about to fall asleep looking for these.
Yeah. We've had one person. If I can give one hint, it was the first answer was even in the ballpark, and he was still a good bit off. But
that's crazy.
It's in the magazine,
right?
Well, Roland, everybody looks at it online these days, so it might not be made the online version.
I
But
got you.
They
ahead.
need to pay for it. They need to get the hard copy where they can read it.
Okay, listen, Roland's telling you what to do right there.
This new technology isn't for everybody.
Yeah, you and cranking and yanking. I get it right there for sure. Craftmaster wants to know, how do you adjust your leader for a different minnow action?
It just really depends on how much I want that bait to roll, how long or short it is.
Hey, we got a winner.
There
Oh
we
my
go.
God. Who?
Kyle Brown, 472, 662.
And it's in the back of this month's magazine, just as clear as day.
Okay, well, good, because I don't even know what the damn question was. It's been so long ago. But anyway, who'd you say it was?
Tony.
Who was it? Kyle Brown?
Kyle Brown.
All right, Kyle. I think I got his. Let's see. Brooks dropping chicken tenders today. Steep banks were made for blade baits. You ever throw any blade baits, Brooks?
I actually have. Yeah, it's they bite it pretty well. It's a cool technique.
All right, let's see here. I'm trying to find all the questions for you. Do y'all think they'll still bite topwater with this cold front? And if you do think, every one of you guys can answer this. And if you do think there is a chance for topwater, what bait are you throwing? We'll start with Brooks. If you had to throw topwater.
Yeah, no, you can still catch them on like some areas for sure with it, but I would definitely say like more of your like Chopo buzzbait style kind of top waters up shallow would be more effective than like throwing a walking bait over a brush pile right now. I think a lot of those fish and kind of tucked in those areas are still apt to bite it for a little while longer, whereas like some of your main lake fish are going to have a really hard time pulling them to the top with that turnover and those cooler water temps.
I got you. All right, Tony. What about you? We ain't gonna be throwing no topwater Saturday, are we?
Probably not.
Probably not. But what would you be?
Not to start with anyway. No. So for me, over at Wadowee, I'm going to find some riprap, and I'm throwing a walking bait, and that riprap holding the heat gets them up there. Plus, I also look at what they pull water on Wadowee daily this time of the year. So I'm going even in the colder weather. Like I said last week, when I saw that fog roll in that first time it got cold, I love that walking bait next to that riprap. Usually get some pretty good blow ups on it.
Okay, Dave.
Guntersville, if I throw one, it'll probably have to be that plopper, just because of the noise it's made. Because it finally cleaned up last weekend, but it won't be cleaned up enough, and then you're gonna need some calling power to get those fish out. They're still running shad up there shallow, but I feel like you need a little more calling power, and it comes to the grass better than a walking bait does.
Okay, Roland.
Well, I'm old school, Danny. I'm going to go with a baby torpedo with a feathered back hook.
From BPS.
Bass Pro Shop version, right?
No, I'm going to go with the heading on this one.
You're going to go with the heading on this one? Okay, listen, I believe you. Craftmaster wants to know, it's back to the leader question, Brooks. A shorter leader gives you more or less roll?
More roll.
More roll. Okay, there you go. This is a good question because I was getting ready to kind of transition in some of this too. What's your favorite lake to fish a tournament on other than Allatoona? I wasn't going to talk about Allatoona, but yeah, I mean, what's your favorite lake to fish a tournament on and outside of Lanier?
I really enjoy fishing up north. That's something I look forward to all year, and getting to compete in some of those tournaments up there. It's just so different than anything we do down here, and it just kind of breaks the normality, if you will, for me. It's just chasing fish, dealing with crazy waves, and it's a lot of fun. And definitely, if it wasn't that, I would say like fishing offshore grass somewhere, whether that's like Harrison, Kissimmee, anything like that. That's something I've loved to do the past couple of years.
Okay, there you go. John G says, what do y'all think a Chapo looks like to a bass? It's a good question.
I would almost say a flea and bait fish of some sort, I would think.
Is that what y'all would go with? Just a fleet, just something on top, just making some noise? Dylan, my buddy Dylan's here tonight. Brooks, what's your thoughts on the new BFL rules?
So I don't mind. He's talking about the 3-hour scope period for y'all that may not know in the comments. But BFLs are limiting it to where the boaters can only use live scope for 3 hours. I think it's cool. You get to bring back a lot of different techniques, and then co-anglers potentially have a better chance. Not really, but I really think it can be an issue on the BFL level because on the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals or the Pro Circuit this year, there's going to be an actual kind of relay system, if you will, that transmit that to the tournament director when that unit is turned on and off. But on a BFL level, it's left up to the co-angler. So I can see a lot of like buddy situations like, oh, like you can have it for 15 more minutes, or like, I don't care, leave it on. So I really don't like that aspect of it, whereas there's not a true way to police if that boater kept it on for 3 hours or if it was 3.5 or just straight up 8 hours. So that's the only part I don't like about it, that I think they're going to have to do something with.
Now that's on the BFL level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but on the higher levels, it's going to be an actual device that relays it back to the tournament director. So I've heard. So
yeah. Dave, Tony, y'all got an opinion on that?
Not really. I mean, I guess it's one way to call people back to fishing as co-angler, knowing that your boater's not going to have it all day. But at the same time, like Brooks said, I mean, you're at a honesty situation there, and we know how that works sometimes.
That's right. Craft Master.
Yeah. I mean, if you get out on a ledge on Guntersville in June, he ain't no better off than he was if I'm scoping. I'm gonna put that. They're gonna put that. That's not gonna change anything. You got a big school of fish. Brooks is gonna nose in that boat like I am, and we're gonna start catching them until we get ours, and we'll swing it around and get after it. But, that I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference or not.
BFL rules will cause fights, Craftmaster said.
Yeah, I mean, I think like one last thing I'll say about it, I think you'll see a decrease on the boater side, more so than anything this coming year. And honestly, there's so many changes on either side of any organization. I doubt this will stick for more than a year, and it'll change again.
Yeah, I can believe that one for sure. Okay, so Craftmaster still has a question about the leaders again. What's considered short? What's considered long?
So a long leader would be like 7 to 10 foot. A short one would be like 4 to 5. I mean, I've gone shorter and longer, but that's just kind of ballparking what I consider each.
Okay, I got you. Now, cranking and yanking and Clint, I like this. Here's two spectrums here. Let's just do away with it altogether and be done with all the back and forth BS. And then Clint said, let's just keep it to be done with all the back and forth BS. But you know what? I kind of agree with both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I agree with both of them. Either do the MPFL thing or do what, Bass did, just keep it and let it be.
I think one of the biggest things with, people getting irritated with Bass was, or with MLF more than that, is the constant changing of the rule. It's like every year we try to write a course, and you're not going to make everybody happy fishing. It ain't going to happen. Somebody's going to be mad. And you just got to pick which group of somebodies you want to be mad and which ones you don't want to be mad at some point. And stop trying to, I mean, BFLs are trying to get more co-anglers to show up. But then, like Brooks said, the boaters are going to be like, well, I'm not doing that. I mean, why would I fish that when I can go fish something else and fish my way? I mean, you just pick something and go with it. But
I like it I do like it in the BPT format. I think it's pretty cool. But like I said, they got officials, and then you can turn it on and turn it off. You know, they got to turn it on for a period or whatever. I think that's been cool because you've seen a bunch of different techniques that we haven't seen in a long time.
I mean, best thing the NPFL can do is stay the course because they're the only ones not changing the rules every year so far.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, Brooks, Captain Jay Morgan said, I may have misinterpreted Boyd Duckett, but on Bass Live, he said the new boxes that show open and close times all recorded would be for all levels.
Yeah, I may be wrong on that. That's just what I've heard on the BFL level. That'd be awesome if they did it for the BFL too. From what I've heard is the anglers have to purchase that device. And I do not see BFL guys paying $500-$600 if that is what it is. But
I got you.
If they do that, that's awesome. That's just like kind of the rumors I heard. I'm not saying that's for certain on anything.
No, I got you. Silverpunk says I prefer the MPFL rule. Paul B says the same. The Bass Guide would be better for them to have one event on, one event off, and so on, like the Opens have done. I mean.
That's the easiest to police at the smaller levels, I think. At the BFL level, that'd be easier to police.
Okay.
I would prefer that for sure.
You prefer that? All right. So Adam says viewership on a national television level will rise more if they keep the scope and then show the live feed from it. And I do think that you would watch it, if you could see what they were actually looking at, talking, that was a little bit more interesting. Now they're all Switzerland except the MPFL. No one wants to live there. You can't please everybody for sure. But I wonder why they make some of the decisions they make, if it's more on the financial side or what. You know what I'm saying? Is it more for like, hey, we can make more money with viewership here if we do this? Or is it truly about the anglers like it better? I mean, like Brooks, what would you want right now? Straight across the board.
I mean, I'm cool with it just because I've invested a ton of time into learning it, but that's honestly just to stay competitive and kind of the tournament atmosphere in the past couple of years. I mean, if y'all want to look, most of my tournament success was pre-live scope and through high school and the first year of college. But it's one of those things where it's like it came out and it's either you got to be really good with it or you've got to be really good shallow and know your game, power fishing or what have you. And those guys still dominate even with the live scope guys because their fish are not getting the pressure. So I think it honestly evens out well. And you can kind of look at this last year's on the Elite Series with Pat Schlapper winning twice. I mean, you got some scope tournaments, you got some scope without it, but I mean, you got guys like Trey McKinney, phenomenal scoper, tried to do it at the Mississippi River, and it's one of those places where it's just not going to dominate. So I think it actually balances itself out a lot better than people kind of argue about it. So that's my thing on it.
Let me ask you, would you have liked to have had it out there on Guntersville?
Honestly, the only reason I'd want to have it would be like to set up on grass and see those edges because I marked a ton of it in practice. And when I came back and I had my waypoints and they got these little boats there that I don't know what to call them, but they like churn like this, and they destroyed all my original waypoints. And I was like, all right, this is a lot harder to set up on this edge.
Yeah. What are they, Dave? What boats?
They look. I tell you what they look like. They look like the old school paddle boats.
It's like Amish or something.
Yeah, and they're round. They look like the back end of a paddle boat, and they go through there and they chop all this crap up, and then it goes to floating. But like just to what he said, Danny, that's what we were using when we came up there and we shot your show. That's what I was using it for. I was using scope because I was, A-rigging and that deep.
Yeah.
And I was looking for clumps and where the grass ended and little hard spots and stuff in there. Like I said, we didn't see that. I think I caught one on scope on camera. But everything else, I was looking for grass and grass edges. It does help with that for sure.
Okay, so Captain Morgan said, a lock box that records when open and when closed for the forward-facing sonar, 3 continuous hours, and 1 pound per minute after that. I guess that's a penalty. All sent back to headquarters. I was thinking the same thing, Brooks, about the pricing.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, the anglers would have to buy that to fish, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is all just stuff I've heard around the bush, but I mean, I know on the invitational now, tackle warehouse level, there's definitely going to be some form of like official policing, and that's fine by me. I just if they do leave it up to the co-anglers, like I've read on the forums, on Facebook, which I could be completely wrong about that. That's the only thing I'm like not too fired up about, but
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense. Especially when you get the buddy thing in there, like you were talking about, if you get a couple of them. On Bass Talk Live last week, Boyd Duckett said they are making the changes and shrinking the field size in hopes of all anglers making 6-figure incomes. Now, Brooks, you want to be a pro one day. I think that's what you want to ascertain to get to that level, right?
yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, what do you think about like the payouts and the way everything is structured right now? And is there one, MLF or Bass or whichever way that looks more promising for you financially?
Financially, the only tournament trail to fish right now is the invitationals, besides a top tier like the BPT or Elite Series. But honestly, like the invitationals is by far the best payout in the whole fishing tournament scene for sure.
Okay. Now go to the pro level. Which way would you go?
I would personally rather fish for bass. But I think MLF you can make more money for sure.
The money's better than MLF, but you'd rather fish bass for it being bass.
Just for kind of what I've done my whole life. I'm still fishing MLF tournaments next year. I'm still fishing Bassmaster tournaments, but my focus is still back on the Opens just because I want to be there end result. So
okay, I like it. Let's see. He said he never went into detail about who, what, or how the units would be purchased or provided. So it's interesting, very much. I have to go back and watch that one. Hey, Brooks, thanks for jumping on the show, man. If you had to fish Lanier tomorrow without electronics and from a kayak, what would you focus on? What would be your game plan? And all you guys can answer that too. Just say right now, tomorrow, y'all got kayaks, fresh out of the box, no electronics whatsoever. What would you try to do on Lake Lanier? You start, Brooks.
I would definitely be focusing on isolated rock, and whether that's just rock on the south end, mid lake, anywhere you've got like a very distinct vein of rock. You can throw a crankbait up there like that rock crawler, or you can kind of slow down with the Nico or jig and kind of drag it out there a little bit deeper. But I mean, myself and my clients, we catch a bunch without live scope a ton, just kind of throwing up there in the mud, and there's a lot of fish to be caught without it for sure this time of year and continuing that into the winter.
Okay, Tony.
I mean, I'm thinking long points, saddle, things like that, things where I don't know what the wind. I was trying to see what the wind was calling for tomorrow to be more specific with it, but when it gets windy out there, I'm looking for those saddles and those long tapering points. I'm rock crawler and then jerkbait.
Okay, Dave.
I kind of agree with Brooks. I'm gonna shaky hit it and crankbait it and jig it. And same thing, looking for those rock veins and where they run off in the water and get out there a little bit deeper.
Okay, Roland.
I'm going to throw a spinner bait, but I'm going to start on the points and work my way in with a spinner bait, and I'll follow up with a jig, especially around the rock.
You got a buddy named Kevin Thornton. What would Kevin Thornton do? Same thing, or
he'd stay home because it's too damn cold.
Makes sense right there. Alex says, and Alex is in a kayak, red clay banks and rock if I had no electronics. I got a question for you on the jerk baits. Now, you said you're a mega bass guy, right? How you working your jerk baits right now? Are you still kind of being aggressive with it? And at what point will you start slowing that down to your typical, like what guys say you should do in the winter, that real slow cadence? How you doing it right now? If you're throwing
right now, it looks ridiculous. It's as fast as you possibly can do it and catch up to that bait. And I recently just had a tournament on Seminole, and I caught them the exact same way today on Lanier that I did at Seminole with like the cadence to where it's almost no pauses. It looks like you're trying to rip that bait as hard as humanly possible, and it just kind of gets those fish to react. But I slow it down a little bit more in the winter, and especially like if I'm dealing with a largemouth, like pulling them out of grass or structure. That's where we're like really kind of stalling that bait out and letting it sit in front of them. But spotted bass, they get pretty pissed off at most things. So if you keep it going, it's not really too water temperature dependent.
Well, let me ask you that now. If it was since you said spotted bass, and that's what we deal with up here. If you were on a lake that was truly like largemouth only, no spots, would you go more? Would you be more apt in the wintertime to really slow it down?
Oh, for sure.
Because they're lethargic?
Yeah, and largemouth by nature, this is a little bit deep, but largemouth by nature, they will track a bait for a longer period of time than a spotted bass. So like a spotted bass, just for example, if he comes up to a minnow or a topwater or fluke, he's going to make a very kind of like reactionary style approach where he's either going to bite it or not, whereas a largemouth will kind of get up behind a bait for a while, study it, kind of follow it, track it, and then eventually kind of close the deal or either swim off. So definitely if it was largemouth, I would slow it down a ton for sure.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, any other guys, have y'all noticed that when you're on a largemouth lake, like out at Guntersville, what he just said, Dave, like where they track it a long time?
Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the reasons too, other than the water clarity, that a rig works so well. Is that you kind of keep it and you'll see them. They'll just be behind it. All of a sudden, they'll finally just kind of commit to it. But yeah, the spot seemed like he's either going to run up there and eat it or he's going to let her go.
Okay, that's fair enough. Messick wants to know why mega bass jerk baits. I can't remember if you said that earlier. I know that's what you like to throw, but why?
It probably is honestly a little bit of a confidence deal, but I think a mega bass has some of the hardest like kind of slashing action when you do hit that bait hard, and it rolls good and throws a lot of light when you do hit it. So that's one I've literally thrown since I was a kid, and I know a lot of guys like that pointer is an absolute killer from Lucky Crap too. I think I mentioned that, but this mega bass is not the end all be all. It's just kind of the one I've resonated and understood the best.
Okay, fair enough. Like that. I'm gonna start off with you, Tony, on this, and we'll work Tony, Dave, Roland, and then back to Brooks. Forgot to ask the most important thing about fishing a jig. What is a good setup? Rod, reel, and line. Tony, what's your rod, reel, and line on your jig setup?
I have got the Falcon Lowrider 7 foot. I can't think of what it is. 7 foot lowrider. 15-pound fluorocarbon and 7.5 to 1 gear ratio Daiwa reel.
Okay, Dave. I know it's a Falcon.
Falcon Lowrider. 15-pound Seaguar Brazex. And I throw mine on a 7-1 Shimano reel.
Well, y'all like twins almost.
Hey.
Roland?
7.1 Shimano reel, and I throw a Johnny Morris 7.1 Johnny Morris Platinum rod and 15-pound Invisex.
You know what, Brooks? You laugh, but that's actually what he really throws it on. I believe it is.
I was just waiting for something Bass Pro related.
Well, Johnny Morris is Bass Pro related.
But he throws a lot of Bass Pro stuff for sure. Brooks, your jig setup, rod, reel, and line.
Yeah, I throw a 854 from Loomis. It's a 7.1 heavy fast, and I just throw any Shimano reel.
Okay, there you go. Brooks, do you ever throw a flutter spoon or a jigging spoon? And if so, what are you looking for to get that bite in the cold?
I throw a flutter spoon a lot more in the warmer months, and then a jigging spoon. I'll honestly pick it up here in about 2 weeks and start throwing that a bunch in the ditches. But when I'm looking to get a bite in the cold, I would definitely say a jigging spoon. It's got a lot more kind of tighter action and get those fish fired up on the bottom.
Let me ask you this, and we'll keep it kind of on the down low because you and I talked about it, but you'll understand what I'm saying is, you remember the flutter spoon size differential that you experienced the summer before?
Yep.
Was it the same this summer?
I've thrown a lot of different sizes, but I'm kind of unique in the way I throw that bait, so I don't change too much, I guess, with what's going on. I keep it about the same.
Okay, and that's something between he and I. So I'll tell the rest of you when he's not here, so you won't get mad at me. I won't tell him, Brooks. What's the best time of year to throw the credge or a riser?
A riser can be really good in fall. Credge is essentially just like a bigger riser, if you will. Maybe you can do a little bit more with it, but I like it anytime in the warm months from May, June, July, but definitely in the fall would be hard to beat. Sure.
Okay. Jerry, thanks, guys. This is the best channel to get good sound advice. That's because we have great guests and the guys know what they're talking about. Makes my job really easy. Captain Morgan, all right, going back to your spoon and your jigging and all that. What type of setup on the spooning and jigging? And then I guess, Father Time, we can go with your blade. I know you throw a blade bait too, right, in the winter?
I will throw a blade bait, yes.
So we'll get yours, and then Dave, Tony, if you guys throw that jig and spoon, we'll talk about yours. So what is it with you, Brooks? What's your setup?
I like a 7 foot, or even I think last year I actually went to my jerkbait rod, which is like a 6'10" medium. But I really liked it because I could keep that almost like tighter to my body and keep that bait like really on those fish when I was looking at them under the boat. But anything in that 7 foot range, medium, kind of where that rod can bend. But one thing with the jig and spoon is I would 100% change out the terminal tackle and put like a G finesse number 4 or 3, depending on the size spoon, and that's going to help the biggest thing for sure.
What brand spoon do you normally use?
I just like the berries, the Flex It. That's my favorite one.
But you do change out the hooks.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's the first thing I do on a
okay
spoon.
Fair enough. All right, Kevin.
I throw a Spro in a 7'1" medium action as well with 15-pound Invisex.
Okay. How you working it?
I'm hopping it yo-yo, up and down, ripping it hard and letting it fall. And I'll start with a little 3 foot pop up before I start really jerking it.
Okay, so you go subtle, basically, what you're saying.
I want to see what the fish want. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Dave?
I throw mine on a 7.2 number 5 Falcon Buku. Brooks is a Flex It. Is that the one with the blue package?
It is, and a lot of them have like the tape on it. You can actually,
That's the one I throw too, and I'm with him. I change out the hook. Only difference I put an owner ST36 on it.
Okay, all right, there you go, Tony.
I'm 7 foot, medium heavy, whatever rod I got it on. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. I just started doing it last year. I mean, that was not something I did a lot of after I was in studio with Bill Payne for his jig and spoon. He did. I picked it up, went to Lanier about a week later, and started catching fish immediately with it. So I had it on a 7 foot medium heavy rod, 7.5-1 bait caster, and literally just hopping it in the ditches and was catching fish right off the bat with it.
Tell Brooks about that little setup. And Brooks, have you ever fished anything like this? Tell him about what Bill Payne does.
So he tied. I didn't bring my terminal tackle box, but he ties a 18-inch, up 18 inches up from the spoon. He puts a feather treble on there.
I've seen some guys even do that with flutter spoons before with like a bobber stop and have a feather treble up the line. I personally haven't done it with the jig and spoon, but I could see that being pretty powerful for sure.
So what I did though, and different than his, because he was tying like a regular Palomar knot or whatever, tying it and then tying the leader off the bottom to the jig and spoon. Well, I noticed I was breaking off a little more. So what I went and bought those. You can buy those triple swivels that's got 3, and I tie on with that, and then I put a split ring and put my hook on the other loop. Okay. So that way the fish isn't hitting the line as much. It's just hitting the hook, and it seemed to do a little better.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to definitely have to try that this morning.
He caught fish with it. I remember Tony, like the next day, the day after, you're like, dude, it works. So have you heard of this, Brooks? Because I had some guys send me a video of it, and I was actually going to make one just to show everybody, kind of something similar to what he said, and they're calling it a chase rig, where take a drop shot. You got your regular drop shot hook, 12, 18 inches, whatever, your tag, your drop shot. And then a lot of guys now are putting on like Ned rigs, other things on the bottom, right? But when we were talking earlier about the ditch bite with the football head jigs, there are guys out there that are throwing that football head jig, but they're keeping their drop shot above it, and they're putting a smaller size fluke on the drop shot, and then on the football, they're putting a bigger size fluke and maybe a little bit different color, and they're working it in the ditches so it looks like one's chasing the other. Have you even messed with anything like that?
I haven't. The first thing that comes to mind with that was like I would not know how to like set the hook based on if it bit like the drop shot one, or for one it bit the football head jig. Like one would have to be a little bit harder than the other. But I mean, I could see it. I could see it working for sure. But I have not personally played with anything like that. But I think I've seen a few videos on like shorts or whatnot with like a Ned rig and a drop shot or something like that. But
that's big up north. I think that's like with smallmouth. A lot of guys do that with the Ned rig. But yeah, I have a couple of viewers that send me videos, and he sent me that video, and it was called a chase rig. And I'm kind of like you. Like, I don't know how, because like with the drop shot, you can kind of just lift into them. But when you're throwing that football down on the bottom, you can kind of really get into it. I don't know. I was just curious if you had done anything like that. Did we cover the spoon setup?
Yeah,
we just did that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Travis, Glitzy, 55. What size heads do y'all use for an A-rig? Can't find the right tune for mine. Help, and it depends. Dave's going to have something totally different out there on Guntersville. Brooks on Lanier, you throw an A-rig at all? And if you did, what size head would you use?
So I'm not the A-rig guy. I've thrown it a couple of times. We're going to have to refer to Dave on his expertise because that is not my ball game.
Yeah, and before I get on Dave, because Dave's different. Tony, you were Kevin, didn't you say you throw an A-rig?
I've thrown an A-rig. Yes, I have, and I throw it with an 8-ounce head, 5 of them, 5 hooks.
Okay, Tony.
I actually threw one this last weekend. I'm bound and determined to do something with it this year, but mine was whatever rusty ball-headed jig was on there from last year because I hate the damn thing. But no, I use about an 1/8 ounce heads on it. It's what I've been using. Okay,
and here we go with Dave, because Dave, again, first time I ever seen anybody do this on Guntersville. Now you had, was it 16th?
16th
ounce heads, and tell everybody why.
At the most, because it controls the rate of fall a lot better. Now I will go out to an 1/8 if we're out, say we're out on a deep flat 20 foot and you're scoping for roamers and stuff with that. But you remember Reese was talking about when we had him on, Reese Knight, Brooks, he fishes for Auburn. He's a kid I met up there GTO. He pours his on and he puts just a dab. You need something to act like a keel on it, but his probably are 64th. It just depends on how deep I want to fish it. Most of the time I'm throwing 16th ounce. I throw the owner lockdown. It's the best head I found for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's bringing it over grass. Like, you can be in 7 foot of water with 4.5, 5 foot of grass coming up, and he's throwing an A-rig across the top of that grass. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And he doubling and tripling up on largemouth. It was stupid. No, it was stupid. When I saw him throw that, when I saw where we pulled up, and I see him get that A-rig out, I'm like, this is dumb. And then I was like, well, I'm dumb, because he was catching them. But that 16th ounce, what was the one that you had? One that had heavier heads, and I
only had one pack of 16th ounce in the boat, so I gave Danny the 1/8 ounce,
and I couldn't keep it out of the grass.
It's one thing to have to throw it, but there's a lot to it. When that sucker hits the water, you got to have it moving.
Yeah.
Especially with those bigger heads. Now you can put bigger blades on and counterbalance that weight if you need to. You can put a bigger blade on the arms. It would help give it more lift.
Yeah, I couldn't keep it out of the grass though. I couldn't, but he was just waxing their ass on that thing that day. Any experience with the new Flux gill by Berkeley? Any of you guys messed with it?
No.
Have you seen it? Have you seen the videos on it, how they're working it?
I hadn't.
Have you, Brooks? Kind of it's almost like, you remember, what was the name of that Berkeley bait that looks like a bluegill that lays on its side?
The gilly.
The gilly. So kind of something similar, like you can hook it like that. And then I've seen some where it almost like it was a wacky rig or a Nico. Like they would put a little like nail weight on the end of it and then just a Nico thing, and they're pulling it across like a brim feeding, pointing down, he's feeding a little bit. I've just seen videos of it. But I haven't messed with that. Alex wants to know what size on those swivels, Tony.
And I saw that question when he asked it. I'll be honest with you. I was just messing around, so I went to Walmart and bought. I mean, it's the Eagle Claw, triple swivel deals. It's almost like catfishing rig, almost, just to see if it would work. So play around with it and see what you like. I put a number one, or not a number one. I put a 1/0 or a 2/0 hook on there. Right? I think it's bigger hooks. Anyway, I put a big hook on there. So for that feathered treble.
Okay, there you go. Fun fact. Garmin had a bad earnings report this week saying the outdoor segment is lacking, down 17% this week. You think we're going to see a new live scope or some deals this Black Friday? I will tell you this, Aaron, that the entire outdoor fishing industry is down 100% as far as overall sales, from boats down to everything. So I'm sure there's going to be some really good deals on Black Friday this year with some places. Dave, what about rod and line for your A-rig?
Falcon Amistad 7.4, and I'm usually throwing 17 abrasics or 40-pound braid, depending on the color of the water.
Okay. Adam wanted to know that question as well. Let's see. How about a scrounger? Brooks, you throw a scrounger, and does it play in the ditch bite?
I used to throw it a bunch. Probably like almost 5-6 years ago. Threw it a lot, kind of like late season, like February, March. When those fish kind of got higher up in the water, and it works really well. I just throw that. It was like a pulse jig, and then I put like a reactions little dipper on the back, and that thing used to be pretty money around some of those shallow docks on the back of ditches, but I haven't played for it or played with it recently. But it's really good for schooling fish too.
I got you right there. I love a scrounger. Messick says he looked up a company called Bare Naked Tackle. The guy's from Alabama. He makes really good Alabama rig heads. Get the 16th ounce. What swim bait are you using on yours? And I think he was asking Travis, but I'll ask all you. You throw an A-rig. What swim bait are you using, Dave?
I'm gonna start. My go-to is a 2.8 Kitech. If you can get them to bite something else, I would suggest doing that, because you go through packs and packs and packs of Kitechs with them ripping the tails and stuff off.
All right. Tony?
I think that's what I got on mine's Kitechs right now.
Okay.
No, I'm throwing them little Bass Pro Shops. They're cheap and they hang on pretty good. They don't tear up.
No, I believe you. What about you, Brooks? If you throw one.
Yeah, if I were throwing, it'd be a Kitech. Sure.
Let me ask you, have you ever heard guys where they'll do, like, if say you got five arms coming out, they'll go 4 one color, and they'll put the fifth one will be an odd color. You do anything like that?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I really don't throw A-rig much. But
you really don't throw it at all? Okay. Dave?
I'm gonna have a different one on there, and like I said, I'm gonna put that thump gel on there too.
All right, Brooks. There's the next thing. Do you throw the thump gel or anything like that?
Not too much. I mean, I do some things with scent, but I don't really throw it too much. No. I know some guys. I know a lot of people say it makes a big difference. So I'm probably missing out on something, but I don't know. I haven't played with it too much.
Try it.
Do you mess with any of that stuff that's supposed to get you a better return on your forward facing? You mess with anything like that?
No, I mean, I don't even really believe in tungsten having a harder return. I know that's super unpopular, but I think it's more about density of the bait and your settings of your screen versus having tungsten versus lead.
No, I can see that. Mayors are pretty good on A-rigs. They hold up a little better. Shop Life. Any glide baits on the near this time of year? Brooks, you mess with any of the glides?
I throw some. If I were to throw some right now, it'd be more like your chopping style, like something from Clutch, where you can get it next to a lay down or a dock and get real aggressive with it. I've caught a lot of them on it in the spring, especially. But if it were, I'd be like a Clutch darter, like a baby boss or something you can get real aggressive with.
Okay. Father Time, how many rods you got behind you?
I think there's 37.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. You dang sure right, can tell. Jerry wants to know, is there a time? Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Is there a time to throw an A-rig without blades? Some of them don't have blades. Never?
Mine always have blades. I'm putting blades on there.
Okay, there you go. Underwood hammered them on some Buka baits this week. I still like a casting jerk J on a rig. Blah 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 blah. Let's see, trying to catch up with that. Brooks, you got a client tomorrow? You got a trip?
Yeah, it's actually a half day at lunch, so I get to sleep in for once.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure
you're all
'cause I know we're getting that bruiser swim baits for an A rig bass beetle. Let me ask you this, because you like throwing a lot of cast baits. You like throwing that. The Echoes compared to the Prodigies. Which one do you use more?
I definitely use the Echo more so, but the Prodigy is a really good swim bait, and a lot of the guys that love like crawling a Kitech or something in a ditch, that bait can work very similar for sure.
Okay. And then somebody put up there, use it. It doesn't rust the hooks, so you don't have to.
Yeah, that's because
rig it.
It doesn't have a ton of salt, so that is a positive for your hooks for sure.
I got you. Brooks from JTB, he's got a question. Is there a difference between a Garmin 16-inch and a 126 SV for live scope?
So I've had a 126 SV. I had that one for about 3 years, and then I'm going on my second year of having a 16, and there is a huge difference in a couple things. I could still catch the same fish I catch on a 16 with a 12, but the biggest difference between a 12 and a 16, I would say, is like target separation. So say you got a stump and 10 foot and a fish on it. On a 12-inch screen, you can barely see it. On a 16-inch screen, you can distinctively tell that stump and that fish are like two separate things. Same thing with some big easy use thing for me. And I've got a lot of buddies that have that 19-inch Garmin, and it's sickening like how good some of that stuff is. But you can do everything you need to do on a 12-inch, but if you're someone who like stares at it as much as I do most days, like guiding or tournaments, whatever have, it just becomes like an easy use thing with the 16 that I prefer. But you can definitely get everything done with a 12-inch and not be at a disadvantage, in my opinion.
Okay, and I'm gonna ask you a question for me and Tony. You've never fished Blue Ridge. You said that, right?
Mm.
All right. What did we say, Tony? It was 3,300 acres?
Yes.
3,300 acres, Highland Reservoir. They got it drawn down about 8 feet right now. A lot of rock, got a river channel. You've never been to this lake at all, and let's just say, just for us, you don't have live scope. Would you start on the same things like you would on Lanier, like points, rocky points? Would you try to go out into the river channel throwing a spinnerbait early for a largemouth? It's got largemouth spots and a few smallmouths still left there.
Yeah, so like the first thing, whenever I'm not using live scope, the first thing I'm looking at is just for any type of anomaly. If you've got like one dock that's away from the others, and then if in y'all's situation is rock, I'm looking for something that's painfully isolated. So if you got a bluff wall for a mile and then it changes and goes to like a little pocket, makes a point, like something like that definitely catches my eye, just because I can like pull up to those areas and kind of have like a target oriented approach rather than like just cooking down a rock wall for a mile or so. But definitely any type of contour change or kind of swing or little point would be something I'd try to like identify early. And then without live scope, if it'd be a little bit harder, but if you can find an area like with bait this time of year, it'd be really, really important for sure. That's the same thing I've seen on Lanier. Like right now, it's like you'll be going for what feels like a mile or two, and then you'll hit like a wall of herring, and it doesn't matter if those fish are up shallow or relating on rock, they're just somewhere in that area just because that bait's present for sure. But that'd be one thing I'd focus on, even if that's using like 2D or side scan just to get an area with bait.
Well, Tony's got a scope, right?
Yes.
I'm just saying, just in case we didn't have it, I was just curious. Plus, Cranking and Yanking is still watching, so I wanted to kind of relay a question out there that he would appreciate a little bit, for that. But spinner baits this time of year, because I know Kevin likes to throw them. I had a couple of guys say, "Hey, it's time for that mini me," those kind of baits. Are you throwing any spinner baits, and if so, what are you throwing, and how fast are you working them?
Yeah, so we're actually catching a good mini on spinnerbait. We had a trip on Tuesday and caught probably 5 to 7 on it with a couple of decent ones. But I throw the 3/4 ounce white on white mini me. It's one I've thrown since I was a kid. Doesn't matter if it's sunny. There's something about those white on white blades on linear that just generate bites. But right now, I use it a lot, like on a lot of those shallow shoals, flat contour points, and then something we've actually been doing that we figured out. I figured out last year in October. When that turnover gets to be really strong, those fish don't want to come up, but you still have a lot of those fish kind of positioned mid-column to where it'd be one that wouldn't come up on a top water, it'd take too long to get a fluke down there. That is a really, really good situation for that spinner bait right now. And then if you got clouds and wind, it's definitely money pretty much anywhere. But it's been a cool bait for the past couple weeks.
Now, when you say they're setting up, you're talking about like being suspended and they won't come up?
Right. So, like, I mean, it can be fish over brush, on a point, like literally anywhere. If they're just in that kind of, I call it like the mid-range, that mid-column where you're probably not going to throw like a bottom bait, like a shaky head or Nico or a jig to them, but you can't call them to the surface with a top water. And they're just kind of in the middle. That spinner bait's one you can let sink a few feet and then start burning it pretty fast and get them to get competitive over it.
Do you still keep it above them or do you rip it through them?
I keep it above them. Yep. Anything bait fish related, I always keep above them.
Okay, there you go. It does have some walleye up there at Blue Ridge. I caught one the last electric only tournament I had. Caught it on a kayak, Dave. If you would like that right there. So 2 more questions. Let's do this. And do you use a trailer on your spinnerbait, Brooks?
Not for spotted bass. Just because I'm moving it so fast for large bass. Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't do that on that mini me. What about a Megabass SV3 spinnerbait in the AYU? Did I say that right? IU color. Do you guys like that? Anybody use that one?
Haven't tried it.
I haven't.
I've heard a lot of my clients talk about that one, but I personally have not picked it up yet. So,
Kevin, have you thrown a spinnerbait other than a Terminator in the last 25 years?
Yes, I have.
How many? Serious question.
I am Hank Parker.
The Hank Parker one. Okay, fair enough. All right, well, look, let's do that. So, hey, we've gone 1 hour and 50. So,
Danny, can I say something real quick?
You can.
I just wanted everybody to know I've had fun with Roland tonight, but I have nothing but love and respect for that man and what he's done to the fishing industry. I don't want anybody to take the wrong message, you know?
No, I don't think anybody is. I think actually,
I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah, I actually think you did a really good job impersonating him, if you ask me.
And by the way, I am still guiding at $1,500 a day for 1 or 2 people. Your choice.
Had to get that last one in there, didn't he?
Yes, I did.
Well, anyway, so hey, listen, Brooks, appreciate short notice jumping on with us tonight.
Sure.
And it's always good. You always start some good information and all that. And then I'll get with you here next month or so. I want it to be cold as hell when you and I go.
Yeah, let's go for early December. That'd be when I'd pick it.
Okay, well, we'll do that. Then I'll get with you on your thing. So, but appreciate you jumping on
for sure
tonight again. All you guys, appreciate you guys jumping on with me. And, of course, all you guys out there in the comment section. You guys always bring it. Great questions tonight. It's always a good conversation when you guys are out here with our guests and everything. And, of course, Tony and Dave bringing the juice and all that as well. So I'll be back tomorrow. 12 o'clock, we'll do a lunch break. We'll fly into the weekend, and Tony and I are going to go kick everybody's ass on Blue Ridge. We're going to be confident, Tony.
That's right. We're going.
Even if we finish dead last, we're going in there to win.
Hey, we'll talk shit the whole time.
That's exactly 100%. And then next Tuesday, if I believe is correct, next Tuesday we've got Mick. Is it Mick with Cass? Is that the guy, the owner from Australia? I believe him and Ryan are going to be over at Clint's house, so we'll have them on. And then I do know that on the 11th, Easton Fothergill will be on. So that's Tuesday, and I'll find us a good guest for next Thursday and all that. So if we don't see you tomorrow and you guys go into the weekend, number one, have fun, but be safe. Wear your PFD. Don't want to hear about no accidents or anything like that because we want you guys to come back. But be safe. Enjoy your time no matter what you're doing, whether you're hunting, fishing, or you're going apple picking or, pumpkin picking, whatever. And if you're going out Halloween, Brooks, you going trick-or-treating tomorrow night?
Unfortunately, I'm not.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I think I'm hanging out with a buddy, but nothing too crazy.
Okay, well, just don't get in trouble, Brooks. Okay, you're a good kid. I don't want to. I do have bail money for you though. If you don't want to call your dad, call me.
Yeah, I
come,
think I'll be all right.
I'll come get you right there. So, all right, guys. With that, we're gonna let everybody go. You guys be good. I'll see you tomorrow at 12.